Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. So friends, in this video we will have our discussion on this immediate transit of planet Jupiter. Like today only, Jupiter has transition within the Cancer sign in the Ashlesha Nakshatra. Now, a lot of the content creator astrologers have been talking about it, the good and bad of it, because we cannot undermine or we cannot overlook the potential of Ashlesha to inflict poison. But the whole dynamics changes when a holy and an auspicious planet like Jupiter transit from this boundary. Had it been Saturn, had it been Rahu or Ketu, I would have looked at in a different way. But just because it's the planet Jupiter, Jupiter is in a Atichari motion, so the whole dynamics are going to change. Now, how it is going to be impacting us, all of that we will discuss in this video. And also friends, just because you know this thing that Jupiter is in Atichari motion, so because Ashlesha is the tail end, it's the last segment of the Cancer zodiac sign. So that means from August 18th till October 31st, like that is the date, October 31st, when Jupiter will transition into the Leo zodiac sign. But just because Jupiter once again is going to turn retrograde, and in next year, in the period of from January to June, if I were to be precise with the dates, so yes, from 24th January till 25th June, Jupiter is again going to be in the same boundaries of Ashlesha. So I mean to say during this time only, you will at least get an idea what to expect even in the next year, specifically pinpointed to Jupiter's perspective. So, okay, friends, we will start our discussion, but before that, we will first pray to Lord Ganesha, who is the Hindu god of auspiciousness, good omens, and who presides over all the knowledge of mystic sciences known to humankind. So, Om Vakratun Mahakaya Surakoti Samprabha Nirvignam Kurumadeva Sarva Kareshu Sarvada. Now, friends, the way I mentioned, the Ashlesha Nakshatra spans from 16 degree 40 minutes to 30 degree of Cancer in the sidereal zodiac. Ashlesha is owned by Mercury. Mercury and Ketu ruled nakshatras only are called as the Gandanta nakshatras, and it is ruled by the Nagas, the divine serpents. So it embodies the deep psychological depth, primal instincts, secrecy, intuition, and Kundalini energy. See, friends, I'm sure that even if you do not have much elaborative knowledge of Vedic astrology, you just know the basics of the nakshatras. So I'm sure that you would have heard the praise of the nakshatras like Pushya nakshatra, or this could be Dhanishta nakshatra, or this could be slightly people also appreciate Purva Falguni nakshatra, Revati nakshatra. But when we talk about the inflictions or the potential of the suffering, so a lot has been written when it comes down to the Ashlesha Nakshatra. Honestly speaking, I know some of the Ashlesha people very closely. It's not as bad as the language it has been written in the classics. And also there is like always overriding compensating factors in the chart as well. That is the only reason you always need a professional astrologer for the consultation. But I mean to say, the reputation which Ashlesha has, that is something like, for example, if you have your important planets in the Ashlesha, you are in the dasha of a planet which is in the Ashlesha, you have to be slightly careful. So, friends, understanding the Gandant and the Ashlesha's role. So, Gandant means the knot or the spiritual junction. It refers to the critical, turbulent transition between the water signs and the fire signs. So, for example, one Gandant is from Cancer to Leo, water to fire. Another could be from Scorpio to Sagittarius. Jyeshtha nakshatra comes over there, Mula nakshatra comes over there, and then the last is like from Pisces to Aries, where the Ashwini nakshatra or the Revati nakshatra comes. So, friends, in a way, we can look at it in this way that Ashlesha contains the last pada, fourth pada, 26 degree 40 minutes to 30 degree of the Cancer sign, which forms the fourth pada primarily I'm talking about, which forms the Abhigandanta, the exact boundary where the water emotional realm of the Cancer dissolves into the fiery ego driven realm of the Leo, the Magha nakshatra. So friends, as you can see right now on your screen, the zodiac span. So it spans, we have already discussed, from 16 degree 40 minutes to 30 degree of the Cancer, ruled by Mercury, intellect and strategy in the emotional realm of the moon, because Cancer is ruled by the moon. Um, it melds the deep emotion with the sharp tactical wisdom. Now, when we talk about the deity and the symbol, so it governed by the Nagas, divine serpents, and symbolized by a coiled snake, represents dormant Kundalini Shakti, secrets, protection, and hidden wealth. I'm sorry. Its core energy lies in it embodies deep psychological intuition, research capacity, and strategic restraint. Holds the rare alchemy of turning psychological poison into spiritual nectar. Now, friends, one thing which you have to understand that when we talk about these kind of Gandant energy, Kalsarp energy, 8th house energy, it does not mean that it cannot give you success in the material world. You might be a innovator, a scientist, or might have many patents on your name, or might be very successful in the material world. So, because the way I mentioned, Ashlesha represents the blend of the emotion with the sharp tactical wisdom. The only concern is that sometimes the suffering of these nakshatras or these gandant comes in some other way. See, people have this notion that only if you are successful in the material world, that means you are prosperous and happy. But life does not work like that, because being a like a counseling astrologer, I couldn't tell you how many of my clients who are rich, wealthy, and they are in a miserable state. So I mean to say, the suffering could come in a form of not having a childbirth, or not being able to find a partner, or unnatural death in the life, mysterious problems in the life. So the problem and the suffering of these nakshatras come in this way. That does not mean that if the Shlesha nakshatra is prominent, the person is going to be dumb, or the person is going to be cursed with poverty. It's not like that. The suffering generally comes in some different form. So just wanted to make this thing clear over here. So so as you can see, friends, over here, the deity and the symbol, it is governed by the Nagas, divine serpents, and symbolized by a coiled snake. It represents dormant Kundalini Shakti, secrets, protection, and hidden wealth, which we have just discussed. The core energy, it embodies the deep psychological intuition, research capacity, and strategic restraint. It holds the rare alchemy of turning psychological poison into the spiritual nectar. Now, friends, the way I mentioned, see, the water and the fire boundary. So, Ashlesha's final quarter, the final pada, if you were to be precise, because the boundary of the Ashlesha starts from the 16 degree 40 minutes as well. So, but this is the fourth pada forms the critical Abhigandanta junction. And this celestial knot marks the bridge between the emotional attachments and the soul awakening. Karmic transformation, friends. So, transiting this knot unbinds deep seated karmic ties. So, like it can compels individual to release codependent habits and fear based control, clearing the path for Jupiter's higher divine wisdom and spiritual expansion. The Nagas, because every nakshatra has got its own Shakti, its own power. So the primal wisdom and the Shakti of the Nagas somehow reside within the functioning of the Ashlesha. So the Nagas represent subterranean intelligence, esoteric knowledge, and spiritual protection. They master the duality of the poison and antidote. Under Ashlesha, Jupiter's expansive energy illuminates hidden motives, awakening dormant inner power and converting old emotional toxins into potent clarity. So, we can look at it in this way, friends, the metaphor. So, Gandanta, we have already talked about, it will act as a tight, tangled knot in the psyche. The transition represents moving from the soul or the emotional attachment to the soul purpose dharma, the fire. So this could be a case a soldier who has to refrain his family ties to fulfill his duty, a saint or a sage who has to leave behind his emotional attachment with the family to be in the path of the God realization. So when a planet transits through the Shlesha Gandanta zone, it unties karmic debts through a psychological intensity, forcing a complete shift in the awareness. So, like the way we say, eighth house getting active, planets in these Gandanta zone getting active can actually bring a complete shift in the awareness, in the priorities, in the psychological state. So now when we talk about the presiding deity, we have already talked about Nagas. They represents the primal intelligence, hidden wisdom, mystical power, protection. Symbol is a coiled snake, which also symbolizes the latent Kundalini Shakti. And the core theme is like high emotional intelligence, strategic mind, secrecy, hypnotic persuasion. We know that snakes are known to be carrying that hypnotic powers, right? Deep research and the dual nature of poison into remedy. Now, friends, so now when Jupiter will move in the Ashlesha, how it is going to be influencing us? So the way I mentioned, roughly we can look at that from August 18th, 19th of 2026 till late June of 2027. Because in between, like on 31st October, when Jupiter will move in the Leo in the Magha, it will briefly exit the boundary of the Ashlesha, but it will again retrograde back, and in the month of January, it will again enter back in the Ashlesha. So the influence is going to be there on and off till the June of 2027. So we can look at it in this way, friends. When the ultimate Sattvic teacher enters a nakshatra ruled by intense secretive Nagas and Mercury, wisdom will penetrate the hidden. Like I mean to say, Jupiter can illuminate the dark corners of the mind, hidden truth, covert strategies, deep-seated family karmas, and suppressed emotions will surface needed to be healed. It can transform the venom into nectar. Like the serpent's poison will become medicine. Toxic psychological loops, victim mindset, or manipulative tendencies will be converted into profound wisdom, psychological insight, and spiritual protection. And when we talk about the strategic and the intuitive growth, so success won't come through loud, overt aggression during this phase. It manifests through quiet observation, research, private conversation, and trusting instinct. See, this is what you have to understand. I still remember long time back, a subscriber on the comment section asked me this question. Hey, if Jupiter is so benevolent planet, its aspect somehow remove the suffering of the malefic yogas in the chart. What if Jupiter is aspecting but it is debilitated? So again, Jupiter is still a guru. Even the aspect of a debilitated Jupiter or Jupiter being in a difficult state will still carry the divine purifying potential. So I mean to say, honestly speaking, after knowing the good and bad of Ashlesha, if your life is primarily being ruled by the Ashlesha and you have suffered a lot because of the Gandant placement, when Jupiter will transit over here, this is going to be a period or a time of relief. Again, I want to make this thing very clear. There is nothing to be worried about when Jupiter is in the Ashlesha. Had it been a pure malefic planet, then it could have been alarming situation. But now a lot of the good potential will come to surface. And especially friends, if you are doing something in the realm of the research, medicine, healing, reptiles, animals, and all, so it's going to be good news for you. So now friends, when we talk about, and yeah, a few points I've written over here that the exalted expansion, moving through the exalted Cancer, Jupiter will illuminate the subconscious channels, promoting profound emotional wisdom and long-term clarity. Strategy over the loudness. So progress during this transit will come through private deliberations, research, careful observation, and subtle networking, unlocking the hidden luck. It can open unseen doors via confidential agreements, ancestral support, old contacts, and behind the scene opportunities. And psychological release as well, friends. So it can dissolve overthinking and anxieties by transforming past vulnerabilities into strategic personal strength. Now, friends, see, don't follow the sequence over here because it is all jumbled up over here. And I will be very grateful if you can keep on leaving the timestamps in the video so that it can actually help the other subscribers and all who will come after you to watch or to listen. Yeah, because I'm in a kind of a situation where even in my current prevailing circumstances, even maintaining this channel or consistently uploading is a big challenge for me, but I'm still doing it. So we'll highly appreciate your support. So now friends, talking about its impact, its influence on the Aries native. So friends, in your case, that goes without any saying, Jupiter is a very, very blessed planet for you. And it is also transiting in a Kendra Bhava. like in the fourth house. So definitely friends, the impact is going to be like the focus is going to be on the home, emotional roots, and the property. Like it can heal the old family pattern and the psychological conditioning. See, the way it is going to be now getting differentiated is that before Jupiter, when it was, let's say, for example, in the Pushya Nakshatra. So Pushya has got more to do with the like comfort giving side of the Cancer. But when we talk about like the domain of the Ashlesha, over here lies the inherent vulnerabilities. So now Jupiter will work over here. Like if there is something which is stopping you to bloom to your full potential within the family life, there are like some insecurities you are dealing with. So Jupiter will definitely work over here. And again, friends, my recommendation um, to the like the Aries native, I would say that it is going to be a very good time for resolving any ongoing real estate, property related issue, any anushthan, any ritual you are long time thinking about performing, doing. Like, sometimes people know this thing that I have a Kalsarp yoga and I need to travel to Triambakeshwar Jyotirling and get a Kalsarp Dosh Nivaran puja or something. So this could be a good time for all these anushthan and the ritual. So, yes, healing of the old family patterns and the psychological conditioning is going to be possible. Jupiter, when it was in the Pusha, it was all like comfort, goodness, seeing goodness in the life, in the world. But now this is going to be somehow the emotional repairing and damage control which Jupiter will perform for you. Whether to talk about from the material perspective or whether you talk about from like tangible, intangible, it has got much more soothing, repairing kind of energy for the Aries. Now, friends, when we talk about the Taurus native, so friends, for the Taurus natives, Jupiter is going to be transiting in your like third house in the Ashlesha domain. See, the thing is, although Jupiter is not a good planet for you, but the house it is transiting, and especially the nakshatra it is going to be transiting, it is a supportive energy for you because we know this thing that Mercury has got a rulership. Like for the Taurus natives, Mercury has got a rulership over your second house, it has got a rulership over your fifth house. So now, if Jupiter will transit in that nakshatra, somehow it will have some inherent good potential for you. Like I mean to say, during this time, there will be a heightened intuition, which you will experience in majority of your moves. Let's say, for example, if you have been finding that many people are creating some obstacle in your path, so you'll be able to come up with a solution how to strategically deal with it. So this is going to be a time period of heightened intuition, strategic communication. It is very favorable for research, it is very favorable for writing, and also it is very very favorable for any new skill acquisition as well. It is very supportive time for that. Now, friends, when we talk about the Gemini natives, so friends, for the Gemini natives, it is going to be happening in the second house, and it is going to be happening in the nakshatra of your ascendant lord. So that means this is going to be the time of the financial restructuring and deep family insights. Your words will carry a lot of the psychological weight, and you will speak with clean intent. So, friends, if I were to say, it has got much positive potential for the Gemini natives. And let's say, for example, in your joint family, in your finances, if there have been some ongoing issue, some objection, some lawsuit, if you have been dealing with all of that, any ancestral family karma, so Jupiter will purify, will cleanse that energy. So a purifying energy you can expect in the domain of the second house, like a conflict resolving energy for the Gemini natives. Now, friends, when we talk about the Cancer natives, so friends, for the Cancer natives, it is going to be happening right over there in your first house. So that also tells about for the Cancer natives. So again, it tells about that there's going to be profound personal evolution, like self-awareness and emotional mastery. Like the way we say this thing that it can unlock the latent guidance and the intuition. So we know this thing that whenever we talk about like the symbol connected with Kundalini or whether we talk about a coiled snake connected with the Ashlesha. So the word or the term coiled in itself carries the deeper meaning within the functioning of the Ashlesha. That means it has the potential which is hidden, which can be unlocked. So, and again, a lot of the times this could be case that you're holding up to some grief, you're holding up to some, like, you have recently lost someone. This could be a person, this could be a relation, this could be a wealth. So if you have been reeling over the regrets of the past, or any of the grief which you are dealing with, Jupiter is going to be helping you over here as well. So again, friends, when we talk about the role of the, like, Ashlesha, the role of the Mercury. So in your case, Mercury happened to be your 12th lord. Mercury happened to be your third lord as well. So I mean to say, when we talk about some pilgrimages, when we talk about some, like, some new ideas, new development in the life, or resolving any ongoing issue with your siblings, within your circle of influence, so all of that is going to be possible. So again, when Jupiter was in the Pusha, it was all like comfort giving, everything is good. But now this is going to be the time that whatever you have put under the rug, all those, like, deficiencies, all of those, like, problems and all, so Jupiter will work over there. And again, because of the 12th house rulership of the Mercury, ruled, like, ruling Ashlesha. So this is also going to be the time of the profound personal evolution, self-awareness, and emotional mastery as well. And again, friends, let's say, for example, if you're already working as a healer, a Reiki healer, as a coach, as a guide, so good time for you. So you will be able to connect and relate very well with your client's psychological subconscious state or the problem as well. Now, friends, when we talk about the Leo natives, so friends, for the Leo natives, it is going to be happening in the 12th house. So now 12th house, Jupiter transiting in the, like, in the Ashlesha Nakshatra. So friends, for the Leo natives, a lot is happening right now. I mean to say, Saturn is already transiting in your 8th house. And with now Jupiter transiting over here, it will actually bring some relief, like some sort of, like, subconscious blockages, obstacle, which you have been dealing with. Jupiter will purify, will cleanse over here. So again, friends, whenever we hear the word like Ashlesha or Mula, it somehow is very intimidating, right? But right now you have to understand that it's not Saturn, it's not Rahu, it's the most benefic planet which is transiting over there. So that means the energy is working in your favor. All the impurities are getting removed now. So friends, all what I can say for the Leo natives, the internal spiritual awakening is going to be possible. This is going to be the time period of subconscious clearing and retreat. It is very strong for foreign connections, meditation, and research. So let's say, for example, if you primarily deal with the foreign clients, you primarily work in the spiritual domain, you're connected with research, to an extent, even if you are, like, dealing with people's offshore account, dealing with people's investment, or a part of any covert, secretive research work. So a very supportive time for all those endeavors. Now, friends, when we talk about the Virgo natives, so friends, for the Virgo natives, it is going to be happening in your 11th house. So it can actually give you expansion of influential networks and some sort of strategic gains. Old contacts or covert project will bring long-term success. And the way I have been saying this thing, let's say, for example, if there have been some misunderstanding within your social circle, there have been some sort of question mark to your prestige, some obstacle to your growth, to your status, your elevation, Jupiter will purify, Jupiter will work over there as well. Because ultimately, eventually, Jupiter is transiting in the nakshatra of your ascendant lord in itself. Now, friends, when we talk about the Libra natives, so friends, it is going to be happening in the 10th house. So that tells about, like, it can govern the behind the scene career development. It can bring focus on the covert planning or leadership behind the curtain and some sort of corporate strategy. So again, friends, let's say, for example, if you're already working in the pharmaceutical sector, if you're already working in the animal welfare or medicine, anything connected with liquor, alcohol, and all, so this is going to be beneficial time for you. If you primarily deal with the strategic planning or anything with the, like, political maneuvering and all. So anything which requires complex calculation or dealing with chemical toxins and all of that, so it's going to be supportive time for all those people. Look at it in this way, that when Jupiter was in the Pusha, it was just giving you the comfort and you were enjoying the amenities in your career, in your professional sphere. But now it's going to be the time of the damage control, repair, and dealing with all those things which have been stopping you from, like, being to your full potential. So Jupiter will work over there in that domain. If you're already a victim of office politics, or you have had love hate relation with your bosses, with the authority figures, and some sort of like objection obstacle, um, like, being put forth by other people, which is impending your career growth, so Jupiter will work over here. Now friends, when we talk about the Scorpions, so friends, for the Scorpion, it is Jupiter is going to be transiting in your ninth house. So again friends, Jupiter being in the ninth house in the Ashlesha Nakshatra, Jupiter is a very beneficial planet for you. That goes without any saying, like having the rulership of the second house and the fifth house. So that means it will deepen your interest in the esoteric or mystical knowledge, because ninth house represents the higher knowledge, but Ashlesha represents the knowledge of the medicine, knowledge of the occult. So during this time, if you are seeking a guru for being initiated in the path of spirituality, meditation, occult, astrology, so all of that is going to be possible. So it will deepen your, like, there will be deepening of the esoteric knowledge, philosophy, and the occult studies, and spiritual guidance will dissolve old karmic knots. So again, the way I've been mentioning this thing, the mere entry of the Jupiter is happening to remove any of the karmic knots. Like this could be any of the obstacle delays which are happening in your life because of the Pitra dosha, because you don't have that ancestral blessing or grace in your life. So all of that is going to, those problems are going to get dissolved away. Now friends, when we talk about the Sagittarius natives, so friends, it is going to be happening in your eighth house. That means during this time, major transformation can happen. This is going to be major transformative phase, deep psychological healing, and there will be movement in the joint asset, inheritance, or some major breakthrough if you are connected with the fields of the research. Now friends, when we talk about the Capricorn, it is going to be happening in your seventh house. So it can reveal the true motives. It can reveal the true motives in the partnership and business. It will clear the codependency to establish healthier strategic bonds. So all of that is going to be possible. Again friends, see, when we talk about the transit of the Jupiter from the seventh house, see, Jupiter is not a very merchant or a business savvy planet. um, that is the only reason Jupiter in the third house, Jupiter in the 10th house is not considered as good. Jupiter in the sixth house is not considered as very good. But you have to understand, wherever human element is involved, people are involved, Jupiter can function very good over there. And seventh house in itself represents like the marketplace, the relation which we have with the outside world, with others. So when Jupiter transit over there, so a lot of the good potential. Don't only look at it from the monetary or purely in the monetary terms. This could be a case that the right set of people, the lucky people, will come in your life, which will activate some commercial opportunities for you. Like, sometimes happens, people tell me all the time in the consultation, in that phase when I was dating this girl, I had the best of the opportunities in my career. So again, it's like, everyone who enters, who comes to your life, brings certain element of energy, luck, in your life. Now, friends, when we talk about Aquarius, so friends, for the Aquarians, it is going to be happening in the sixth house. So again, it is good for you because minus getting minus. So minus minus mathematical rule will become positive for you. That means this is going to be the time of overcoming hidden enemies, overcoming the debt related issue or long standing health related issue. This could happen through research, through the right use of prescribed treatment, medicine, remedies, but it will be a good time for you. And also, many people will be able to come up with a right strategic routine or discipline in their life. And lastly, friends, when we talk about the Pisces natives, so friends, for you it is going to be happening in the fifth house. So one of the most important spiritual bhava, like the Lakshmi Sthana. So that means this is going to be the time of the intuitive creativity, spiritual insights, and wisdom in investments or teaching. It can deepen your emotional connection with children. Like the way, sometimes what happens is that parents also become like very one minded, like, okay, you just have to score good in the exams. I will not hear any excuse. I will not hear any alibi. All what I want is that you shall perform well in academics. You shall get married as per my choice. So I mean to say, when Jupiter is going to be transiting in the Ashlesha Nakshatra, it gives you empathy and kind of you will be able to establish a good connection with all the complexities and the troubles your children might be going through or your romantic partner might be going through. So that is the only reason the bonding becomes very strengthened, because you are able to see through the complex perplexities which the other person is going through or dealing with. So yes, friends, this is something which I wanted to say. What you can do. So blend your intuition with the fact checking. So trust your gut feelings regarding people and proposals, but always verify details before signing any documents. Clean intentions in finance is going to be very important, because it's not like the involvement of Rahu is there, because Rahu is the chief planet of cheating and deception. But again, with Ashlesha, there's a lot of things which are going underneath. So it becomes very important, your intent becomes very important. And recognize the quiet opportunities, friends. So value the private meetings, subtle message, and old contacts that arrive quietly without any loud fanfare. And release the past emotional knots. That is the only reason Jupiter is transiting over here. So yes, friends, all of that we have already discussed. For the watery signs, this is going to be the time period of deep emotional intelligence, ancestral roots, protective wisdom. For the, like, this is what the Cancer energy is bringing. Mercury's intellect is bringing like logic, depth to it. The Nagas are like the Devata, the god presiding over it, is bringing the spiritual potential. And the, okay, we still have to wait for the fourth pada to enter, but yes, the karmic ties are still going to be there. So yes, friends, all what I can say is that embrace the quiet wisdom of the Jupiter in the Ashlesha. Nothing to worry about it. Beyond any doubt, Ashlesha is a challenging domain in the zodiac, but because Jupiter is entering over here, so look at it in this way, that the divine force now will work in your favor to deal with the complexities of the life, or this could be any emotional vulnerabilities. So Jupiter will help you over there. So yes, friends, this is something which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs. Once again, thanks a lot for watching this video.